Hello?
Hey, yo, Cutter, what up, man?
What's up, APT? What's going on?
Yo, man, I got a problem.
What's that?
I got these two girls I'm seeing, right?
Uh-huh.
They're both just so good to me. I can't decide which one I should be with.
Man, I'm going through the same thing, man. I got two girls that'll do anything for me.
Oh, boy.
It might sound crazy, baby, believe me. Got two hot ladies, they both loving me. And I gotta choose one, man, I can't choose one. But I gotta choose one, man, I can't choose one. Yo, I gotta choose one, man, I can't choose one. I can't have them both, so I gotta choose one. Yo, I got a hot chick living on the north side. I got a hot chick living on the south side. I got a problem cause I can't tell who to choose. They both seem like they both down to ride or die. My north side chick love to cook a brother grub. My south side chick love to give me back rubs. My north side chick down to pay your brother's tab. My south side chick always down for touch and grab. My north side chick knows how to ride the stick. My south side chick love to drive me in the whip. My north side chick loves to get all freaky. Yeah. My south side chick loves to get all freaky. Woo! They both like dress up and don't give a crap if their hair gets messed up. This is my confession. I'm just about ready to settle down, but I can't decide who I'm supposed to choose now. Oh! It might sound crazy, baby, believe me. Got two hot ladies, they both loving me. And I gotta choose one, man, I can't choose one. But I gotta choose one, man, I can't choose one. Yo, I gotta choose one, man, I can't choose one. I can't have them both, so I gotta choose one. Oh!
I got a hot chick living on the east side. I got a hot chick living on the west side. I got an issue, I don't know who to choose. They like me and I like them both too. My east side chick is a white girl. My west side chick is a black girl. My east side chick likes to have sex. My west side girl got some big breasts. My east side chick freaky as she wanna be. My west side chick always protecting me. My east side chick take away all my stress. My west side chick, she don't take no mess. They both so mature, they both so gorgeous. I like both of them cause they not boring. But let me slow it down, I can only choose one. I can't have them both, so I gotta pick one. It might sound crazy, baby, believe me. Got two hot ladies, they both loving me. I gotta choose one, man, I can't choose one. But I gotta choose one, man, I can't choose one. Yo, I gotta choose one, man, I can't choose one. I can't have them both, so I gotta choose one.
Hey, yo, I tried to be a player, but the truth is, a brother never ever been this ruthless. And if they ever find out I would do this, I'd probably end up with a broken jaw, toothless.
I used to do the same thing a long time ago, but it's time for me to let that player stuff go. Cause I got two hot girls just to choose from. Yo, how you gonna decide which one to lose, son?
Man, both girls got different stuff about my life, but I gotta dump one tonight, cause it just seems right.
I know what you mean, I want both girls in my life, but it would be wrong to have two girls for a wife.
Oh man, what are we supposed to do?
When you got two good girls, how do you choose?
I don't know, it shouldn't be as hard as this.
And if we choose the wrong one,
we'll all be pissed. Oh! It might sound crazy, baby, believe me. Got two hot ladies, they both loving me. And I gotta choose one, man, I can't choose one. But I gotta choose one, man, I can't choose one. Yo, I gotta choose one, man, I can't choose one. I can't have them both, so I gotta choose one. Oh! Hey, big T!
Cutter!
Yeah. We're gonna have to dump one of them, man.
I know, man, it's gonna be hard, yo.
Well, I don't know. You figure out who you gonna get rid of.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna have to have my conversation on this side, man.
Alright, man. I hate to be the heartbreaker, though.
I'll call you tomorrow, see what's up.
That sounds good. Take care, man.
Alright. Peace.
Dude was getting into his car and the cop pulled up and like literally was like holding on to him and then started shooting.
Usually I try to do a little fluff. I try to do a little, thank y'all for coming, this, that, and the third, blah, blah, blah. I'm on a whole different tip tonight.
I want to thank you for another week with What's Up, Brody? How you doing?
What do you call a curfew when you locking people down for 24 hours? They encourage businesses not to open.
Let's just go ahead and dive right in. Thank y'all for coming in and kicking it with Kirk. Let's go into it.
There was an incident that I had one time that I actually ended up dumping a girl over a racial profiling incident that happened to me.
You just gotta love people, man. We gotta love each other, and it's time to get close with your family.
But didn't you sign up to protect and serve? Didn't you sign up to serve the community, even if that means, unfortunately, you may not make it home? Isn't that what you signed up for as an officer? Or did you sign up for a cushy job with a check where you could terrorize people?
Is what do you say to the people who are peacefully protesting and they're being tear gas, bombed, shot rubber bullets at, and being beaten?
We might have chose this life and whatever, but we also chose one of the only fields that is guaranteed to not stop based on any natural disaster.
How long do we stay quiet and don't say anything? How long do we do this for?
Make a complete stop, you take a left turn, and the cop lights come on.
Every single right, basic human right that Black Americans have gotten in this country, we had to fight for.
We're on vacation outside. We wanted to go out to Vegas for the weekend, so that's what we did. And the cop's like, well, your license plate says California. Why are you out here?
Best thing that I've learned, hold on to your family.
It's the Introvert Dating Success Podcast, the show for introverted men that's all about learning how to attract beautiful women and still get your precious alone time. And now, here's your host, dating coach and fellow introvert, Harry Wilmington.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to the Introvert Dating Success Show, courtesy of introvertdatingsuccess.com. I'm your host, as always, Harry Wilmington. This is the show, and that is the website where you can go to learn how to date as your authentic, introverted self while still getting your precious alone time. Be sure to check out my new program for you guys on how to do online dating called Smart Digital Dating. You can check that out and the information about that at smartdigitaldating.com/enroll. So we got a lot of stuff to cover today. First off, we're going to be answering a question from a guy who wants to know how to get over a rejection from a close friend. He's been friends with this girl for a while, and he heard that she might possibly like him. So he started catching feelings. And then when he told her, it didn't quite go the way he wanted to, and he wants to know how he can get over that. And we're also going to go into how you can be a nice guy and still be able to actually attract women. And I know there are a lot of nice guys out there that think this is impossible. There's this whole stigma about if you're a nice guy, you can't get women, or they're not really attracted. How can you be a nice guy and yet women are still going to want to get you? Well, if you're not, you will learn about that today. But first, I want to go over another wonderful segment that I like to call Bad Dating Advice. And this is where I tell you guys some advice that I've seen out there in the world that is being given to a guy, usually by women, that is meant to be good and they're coming from a place where they want it to be helpful, but in reality, it does not help you. And I like to point these things out because as a guy that's going to be looking up information on how to date better, you're going to come across a lot of these kind of things that actually will not help your cause. But you being a researcher, you're going to read it, you're going to hear it from women and assume that that's the thing that they want. And then when you do these things, you're going to be baffled, I tell you, when you discover that they do not work and you don't know why. So I'm going to talk about all that stuff today. So let's go ahead and get into the first thing I want to talk about, which is I went on Reddit. So I'm always doing research for this show. I go to various forums. I get messages of my own as well from you guys to be able to read from and stuff. And so I like to try to search out things that people are posting, that men are posting in particular about dating and questions that they have. And so as I read these things, usually I'll have my own take on it, but I also like to look in the comments to see what people are saying to this person that's asking advice. Because like I said, a lot of times the advice that they're getting from other people, at least in my experience and the experience of people that I've coached and either women that I've dealt with that have talked to me, have expressed that these things are not actually effective. And so I try to help these people out. So this guy posted up a question on Reddit, and the question he asked was, does she want a second date? So that's the question. So I'm going to read through the question and I'm going to go through some of the comments in the comment section that were there that I think could throw this guy off. All right. So it goes something like this. He says, after a rough breakup, I've been going on a few more dates lately. For the first time in so long, I genuinely had an amazing time. The girl joy to be around. Genuinely had me laughing all night. We stayed at the restaurant for 4 hours until they kicked us out. I want to pause there for a minute. I really advise you guys to work more on trying to keep those first couple of dates at a minimum of an hour and a half to 2 hours max. Now, there are going to be some of you that want to know, well, okay, what if I go on a date with a girl for 8 hours or 4 hours or whatever? Is this a thing that's going to hinder my chances of attracting a woman? Like if I go on a date with a woman for 4 hours, does this mean that she'll just be not attracted and she'll never want to date me or eventually marry me? And the answer is no. You certainly can go on a date for that long period of time and still have it work out. But I teach two things on this program, which is probability and effectiveness. So the reality is, in the beginning, the less time that you spend with a woman, the better chance you have of building attraction. You know that whole saying that says absence makes the heart grow fonder? This is especially true when you first start dating somebody, because picture this, okay? This guy goes on a date with her for 4 hours. So he spends 4 hours of time with her and they have a good time. They can have a great time. He does everything right and it is what it is, all right? So could she like him or have raised her interest level at the end of this 4 hours? The answer is yes. Now, let's contrast that with you go on a date with the girl for an hour and a half to 2 hours, okay? At the height of you making her laugh and making her feel good, boom, she's cut off and you go home. Now what's going to happen? Well, now she's going to have a longing desire to want to spend more time with you because she didn't get to spend all the amount of time that she would have wanted, or in the case of this 4 hour guy, that the 4 hours would have allowed. And it's that wanting of you and that wanting of your company that is going to jolt the amount of attraction she feels for you a lot faster than if you give her that full 4 hours. So it's not a thing where she won't be more attractive if you spend more time. It's that the pace at which she starts to feel more interest for you is going to be increased a lot faster when she's not able to have that time. It also gives her something to work towards, because now instead of just giving her your 4 to 8 hours freely, she knows, oh crap, I had a good time. I want more. What do I now have to do to make this guy want to see me more? And that is the thing also, because as I always say, if she's chasing you, she can't be replacing you. Meaning, if she's the one that is having to think of ways to keep you around longer, that's going to make her the one that is freely choosing to want to spend more time with you, which is thereby going to make her feelings for you stronger than if you gave her the full 4 hours. So just a little tidbit for you guys out there. Really, really try to focus on showing the best possible time that you can to a woman for those first few dates, at least within 90 minutes to 2 hours, and then get gone. All right. Anyway, continuing on. 4 hours ago. We lived down the street from each other, so I walked her home and gave her a hug. She told me, text her when I got home. Send her a quick text and thanked her for the night. I'm going on a trip for work until next week. So I said, when I'm back, we'll have to figure something out. She said, that sounds lovely. Okay. I also don't recommend like telling a girl, hey, we'll hang out some other time soon. Like, again, leave a little mystery there. Don't let her know for sure that you want to see her again. Like that helps just build up more intensity of her liking you. But continuing on, let's see. So I left it at that. And she texted me the next morning saying she realized she never said thank you for the drinks and dinner and wanted to apologize. To be honest, I didn't even realize since we were having such a great conversation. I think these are all good signs indicating a second date. She's quick to respond where I take a little longer due to work, which is not a bad thing. We chatted a little throughout the day, bad thing, but I was traveling. She didn't respond to my last text. Honestly, not much to respond to, so I don't mind. Figured I'd ask her tomorrow and let her know what day I'm back and try to set down a specific date. Okay, so what I would say to this guy is what I tell you guys all the time, which is texting kills relationships. But specifically, I should say texting kills attraction, because you might start to think if I text her all the time, then she's going to know that I'm interested. And by her knowing that I'm interested, it's going to build her interest up. And that's not really the way attraction works. But I point this out because of what's in the comments. So one of the comments that was left way down below at the bottom, this guy actually responded back to him and actually said a lot of the things that I say to you guys, which he says a few things. Don't become her texting buddy. Only use the phone for setting dates, whether it be actually calling her a text, then stop. Don't text/talk to her until you meet up in person, which is how you'll build her attraction level for you. Again, I tell you guys this all the time. Save the bulk of your conversation for in person when she can hear your tone of voice. She can understand if you're joking versus being silly and sarcastic versus being serious. She can be able to interpret better what the meaning of things that you're saying actually are based on your vocal inflections. These are things that get lost in text. And a lot of guys end up texting stuff that they think they're being jokey or sarcastic, but when the woman reads it's an insult. So you really want to try to dial down how much you're texting. And I got a whole book on that at the website called Texting Like a Boss, basically 21 ways, basically the 21 do's and don'ts of how to text. You can get that at the website, introvertdatingsuccess.com/ebooks. But anyway, so he continues on. He says, you can ask to pick her up, which is what I would do depending on location and stuff. She'll probably text you the next day of the date and say, are we still on? Which again, if you don't do this whole thing of trying to reconfirm a date, you'll find more women will reach out to you to make sure the date's still happening. And if they're reaching out, they can't be pushing you away. So it works better if you just set the date and then be a man of your word and just show up at that time. You don't have to do this extra stuff like, I got to reconfirm and make sure no, that makes you look weak and unsure of yourself. And that can actually cause a woman to want to now cancel a date. And I've had that happen way in the past. So I haven't done that for years. I never reconfirmed dates. Let's see, she'll probably text you the day of the date and say, are we still on? And tease her like, yes, you mean go out with guys that cancel dates. If she doesn't text you for a few hours before the date and you want some sort of verification, send her a few hours. Okay, that part, I don't agree with that. And again, this is an example right here. This guy is giving good advice part of the way, but then he says, but if she doesn't text you in a few hours, then make sure you text her and, say like, oh, I'm looking forward to meeting up tonight. You ain't got to do that. You ain't got to do that stuff. Women have memories like elephants. So when you set a time and a date, they might be unsure because they're not hearing back from you, but they themselves are not going to forget that a date is happening at this day and time. Okay. So don't feel the need to do that. But continuing on, if you keep texting her all day, she'll lose interest. You want to remain mysterious. By texting all day, you become too available in her eyes. Exactly. You don't want to seem early on like you're a guy that's so available that she has no other competition, or that you must be a guy that nobody else wants, because if you were somebody that somebody else wanted, then you wouldn't just be sitting all day waiting for her to text you back. Okay. So a guy wrote that in the comments, but I had to say that one first, because then we have some women that responded to this guy's post. Okay. So this one woman says, it sounds like this is really going well. Also, do not listen to that guy that says don't text her or she'll lose interest. You do you. Personally, I'm a creature of the internet. And if a dude decided he was going to be mysterious and limit texting contact, I would lose interest because I figured he'd lost interest. It's okay to be her texting buddy if you're comfortable doing that. So let's break this down. Does this actually make sense? So let me read that again. She says, limiting texting contact, I would lose interest because I figured he lost interest. So let me get this straight. So what this woman is saying is, if a guy takes her out on a great date and has a great time with her, and then doesn't call her for 4 days, and then does text her on the 4th or 5th day and says, hey, I want to take you out again, her response is going to be, well, I'm going to lose interest because I figured he lost interest. Yes, he lost interest in her by reaching out to her again and asking for another date. Does that logically make any actual sense? The answer is that it does not, okay? So this is a situation where a woman is reading this and she's saying, this makes no sense. Why would I not want to hear from a guy that I like? And this is what women oftentimes do, is they give advice about things that they would want in a relationship, but during the attraction phase, it wouldn't actually work. So yeah, if she had a boyfriend, realistically, hearing from him all the time during the days when like she's working or has stuff going on or has projects or where she can't get back to him right away, and he's like sending these texts about random stuff, these are things that over time can start to actually make women very, very annoyed. And again, they won't say this to you because it logically does not sound like it makes sense. Why would I be annoyed at a guy that I like and am dating constantly texting me all the time? It makes no sense. It doesn't have to make sense logically. Just know that emotionally that gets overtaxing and women start to not like it, to where they start losing attraction for you. Okay. So then another woman says, I agree with this. It seems like she's into you and wants a second date. Just don't be weird and be honest if you like her. Okay, guy, let me ask you a question. How many times have you just straight up said to a girl on a second or third date, hey, just so you know, I really like you. I like what we're doing so far. I'm getting to know you, and I think we could have a future together. How well does that typically work out? Now, some of you might see this and say, well, I tried it and it worked for me. But probability wise, the majority of guys that do that do not end up getting a third or fourth date with that woman because it seems like too much too soon. But again, right here from a woman's mouth, it's saying, oh, I would love for the guy to be honest with me. No, she would not, because all I can guarantee, I'll read the third one first. Okay. So this third person says, I agree as well. I'm more likely to maintain interest in a guy that texts me during the week as well as to set up and confirm dates than one who doesn't communicate at all outside of planning dates. If a guy only texts me to set up the next outing, I am more likely to assume he only wants to jump into bed with me. Whereas being a texting buddy to me shows a real interest in me and what I have to offer. Okay. So does this make logical sense? You got to start thinking about when women tell you these things, do these things make logical sense? So what she's saying is, if the only time you text her is to ask her out on a date, she's going to automatically assume you just want to jump in bed with her. So for one, as a guy, you probably already want to jump in bed with her. That's just like a given. We most of the time are trying to date a woman in the hopes of it building up her attraction enough to want to bed us and then maybe possibly a relationship. So that's already on the table, okay? But more to the point, what is she thinking these guys are doing? Like, she's saying, okay, if a guy calls to ask me out and says, hey, I want to take you to dinner, then that to her means he just wants sex. If call up and say, hey, I want to have a picnic with you, I want to take you to a movie, I want to go to the beach with you, all that just means I just want to have sex.